Hey there, friends. So today I'm doing another Melanie Martinez song, which are a little sad to do just because I know that they'll get claimed the minute I post them and they take a bit to go actually up for people to see. And then at that point, they're already buried, so not a lot of people see them, which is kind of a bummer just because I'm kind of going into these blind. And I would like to have a discussion about them because I think some of these, so far anyway, this is my third of her songs, are really interesting visually, and it'd be cool to kind of see other people's thoughts on it, but I might just have to go search those out myself. Just because of the way these work, but I do want to keep doing them because I'm having fun. I do kind of wish that I had known ahead of time I was going to be doing all of Crybaby, simply because I just started with Sippy Cup, which I think is like the third track, so now I'm kind of seeing it out of order, and it's becoming clear that it is a visual album, so they did, at least, I don't know if it's like a really serious plot, but at least somewhat of an ongoing plot a little bit, because now I've saw Crybaby, I saw Sippy Cup, and now I'm seeing the ones in between the two, which is Dollhouse. And who knows, we'll see if, like, there was some crazy shit that happened at the end of the Sippy Cup, so we'll see if that continues in the plot for the rest of the album, or if that was kind of just like a one-off thing. But yeah, I'm still having fun with these. These are still really interesting, and let's see what this one's like. Let's go. Make sure I'm recording. I am recording. That happened the other day where last time I recorded some stuff, I had to redo everything because I had to like basically record the video part afterwards and like edit it in, which was really annoying. Anyway, all right, let's go. Do people still play dollhouses are still a thing, right? They have to still be a thing. I would hope so. I never had like a fancy dollhouse as a kid. I had like the Fisher-Price dollhouse, where actually I almost never played with the dolls from the dollhouse. I played with my littlest pet shop and put them in the dollhouse with my sister. And looking back on it, actually, we literally were just playing the plot of Animal Farm. But we were like 4 and 7. Cause like, yeah, no, we did. We literally just played Animal Farm because the animals like took over the house, and there was like one ugly dog that kind of was like, yeah, we have freedom now, and then started sleeping in the person's bed. I don't know why I did that. I didn't know Animal Farm at the time, but I did do it. But I always loved fancy dollhouses. They look so pretty. I wasn't a doll kid, but like back in the day, Los Angeles had a miniature museum, which was this very, very rich lady's super fancy dollhouse collection. I used to go there all the time because I just like seeing all the little tiny intricate things. But I like to hope that people still play with dollhouses. Gets a lot of good imagination going. I don't know what modern toys are like. Oh, I'm old. Oh no, what happened? I don't know. I always liked plush as a kid. Those are always cool. Everybody likes a stuffed animal. Because before Crybaby was like the main character, she was born. Then in this one, that little girl is just, as far as we know, not related to her, just some little girl, and Crybaby is the doll, which is like, is that supposed to be just the case for this video? Again, I don't know how much I'm supposed to look into this as one entire thing or as individual music videos. So like, does that mean that these are all the stories of a little girl playing with a doll? Maybe a girl acting out some things she's going through with the Crybaby doll. I don't know.
Hey girl, open the walls, play with your dolls. We'll be a perfect family. When you walk away is when we really play. You don't hear me when I say, Mom, please wake up. Dad's with a slut, and your son is smoking cannabis. No one ever listens, this wallpaper glistens. Don't let them see what goes down in the kitchen.
Oh goodness. All right, so right there, I love the little detail of them having like the airbrush thing of the articulations on her arm. That looks very cool. It's reminding me of, I never really watched the show Are You Afraid of the Dark in the 90s because I was too much of a baby. I was scared of it. But there was one episode I did see where it was like a girl just moved into this house, and there was a door in the room that one day she opened, and it turned out it was like it went into the dollhouse in the room, and she like started to become a doll, and her like body started to harden. It was really terrifying. That's what it's giving me vibes of. But we do see bits of, knowing this is right before Sippy Cup. I believe it's right before Sippy Cup. I should double check before I recorded this. We've got the mother being a drunk, the father being a cheater. Talk about what goes on in the kitchen. We saw like the horrible thing that happened in the kitchen as far as what the mother ended up doing. This is the first I think I remember hearing about a brother, so that's new. Interesting. I get too excited for plots. I know I'm probably thinking way too hard about it, but I get invested. I can get invested in the most minor of things, such as the way of me.
Repercussions, don't let them see what goes down in the kitchen. Places, getting your places. Throw on your dress and put on your doll faces. Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. Picture, smile for the picture. Pose with your brother, won't you be a good sister? Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. Dollhouse. I see things that nobody else sees. Dollhouse. I see things that nobody else. Hey girl.
I love the shot of her looking like she's in a little box with her little accessories next to her. That looks very cool. I love just like the way that they've made all of their faces look a little bit shiny. It just kind of gives that artificial vibe to them, and the way they're moving just kind of oddly. It's incredibly well shot and well performed so far. But I also think it's interesting that the lyrics are talking about she sees what no one else sees, as far as like she can see kind of behind the curtain that the family's putting out there of like everything's perfect, everything's great, but inside everything's so messed up. And as someone who grew up in a town where I actually grew up in a town that is dating this, a town that is currently maybe on fire or going to, I'm from LA, and I grew up in Calabasas, famously where the Kardashians are from. And I was definitely not of Kardashian level. They lived in the hills. But I had friends, we all went to the same high school. I assume I went to the same high school as the Kardashians, but I mean like other kids at my school, it was very random. There were some kids that went to my school that were in apartment buildings, and there were some kids that went to my school that lived in mansions and owned horses and all this stuff. And it was always so interesting to me. You saw a lot of that. You saw a lot of the like, it was a lot of people whose parents were in the industry. Mine were not. I was decidedly not living. I was living in an apartment, but I was definitely not living in a mansion. Decidedly not. But saw these families who did always look perfect or try to look perfect, and then knowing the insanity that went on behind the scenes. It was a lot of kids who were, put on meds they did not need to be put on, just because their parents didn't really want to deal with them. Or it was a lot of like, I briefly mentioned it in a video I did with my dad, a reaction video I did with my dad recently, talking about the parties, the difference of the parties we used to go to. And he would go to all these crazy parties in the 70s in Miami. Meanwhile, I go to these parties where the parents were downstairs drinking martinis, literally, and just going like, well, it's best they do it here. And the kids are upstairs taking absurd drugs because no one gave a shit. They had too much money that they didn't know what to do with, so they just spent it on drugs. And just like, it's this weird sort of thing. It's like, as long as we all keep up appearances, it doesn't matter what happens besides that. As long as everyone is like, just shut your mouth, smile for the picture, and all this stuff, and say the thing you're supposed to say, and just be where you're supposed to be at whatever time I say. What you do past that, it's none of my business. It's like, it's less family and more coworkers, which I always found so fascinating. I see that a lot in some of my friends' families, where it really just felt like a bunch of strangers that lived together, that kind of like worked together more than it felt like a family. My family is decidedly not like that. But it is really interesting seeing this. I'm seeing a lot of memories from friends of mine reflected in this. But also it's a universal thing. I feel like everyone's got their little dollhouse. Everyone's got their performance they have to put up, whether it's, you know, for appearances as far as a family goes, whether it's just masking to make it seem like you're more okay than you are. I think it's kind of a universal thing. But in this case, it's tripping me out, man. It's really well done. I also love that little necklace. It's weird. I dig it.
Hey girl, look at my mom, she's got it going on. Ha, you're blinded by her jewelry. When you turn your back, she pulls out a flask and forgets his infidelity. Oh, she's coming to the attic. Plastic, go back to being plastic. No one ever listens, this wallpaper glistens. One day they'll see what goes down in the kitchen. Places, get in your places. Throw on your dress and put on your doll faces. Everyone thinks that we're perfect.
I think it's so interesting when the mom was using the flask that partially to reinforce the whole doll thing. It doesn't like connect. She doesn't actually take a drink. There's also a thing of even your coping mechanisms, your destructive coping mechanisms become just routine in that thing of just like, no, it's like, and that one single tear is that, you know, they're not feeling anything because she's feeling things, but like unable to really break out of the rigid doll movements because of the visuals of the video. But also that's kind of what you become. You put yourself in you put yourself in a doll box. You put yourself in there because you feel like you have to for whatever reason, because the idea of acknowledging the infidelity, besides the, you know, I'm sure people, a woman, the whole like, you know, looking at her jewelry, she's got to look perfect. It obviously affects that perfect persona, but it's also just work. It's like, if I acknowledge it, then I have to do something about it, whether that's forgive him or, you know, kick him out and then I have to deal with a divorce, or find out that he loves this other person. It's if it's real, then something has to be done about it. And that can be applied to so many things. That can be applied to so many things for so many different people. But I love that when the little girl's coming in with that one light behind her, the most kind of harsh actual light in the video so far. Everything else is kind of, you know, muted almost in the lighting. You see everyone kind of get back to their little poses, get back to their places because someone's observing them. And I love all the little details in the background of making everything look a little bit two-dimensional. This is really, really, the production design on here is very cool. I'm a sucker for, I love little like fake freckles. As someone who's grown up cursed with freckles and I don't like them, I weirdly like fake freckles. So like everything's just like, just a little bit, it makes everything look a little bit off. Which is very cool. I am a sucker for things that look oddly fake. I just find them interesting. There was a bit of that a little bit in the movie. I saw the TV glow, but a lot in this movie. Oh shit, what was it called? Oh darn it. I think it was Please Baby Please. Am I thinking the right thing? I think I am. It's a very strange movie, but it had a lot of this kind of, parts of it looked, everything was kind of fake in this kind of interesting. And it's funny, sometimes when they do it in film, they do it in theater, all kinds of things. It's that sort of Brechtian theater way of things. It's a certain kind of theater that in them it's more in performance. It makes it so the audience is always very aware that they're always watching a play. You can't get lost in it. You're always kept very aware of the fact that what you're seeing is fake. Almost like a Wes Anderson film. Because of the aesthetic, which is super fun to look at, you're never thinking, you're never lost in like, this is actually happening. Like some movies can almost trick you into, which is really amazing they can do that. But there's also something to be said for movies that constantly make you very aware. You are watching a film, this has not happened, no world looks like this. But because everything else is sort of just off enough that it feels fake, it almost allows the themes to kind of stand out more in a way. You can kind of, you're left to just examine what's there. If this makes any sense, I'm on about 2 hours of sleep right now. I feel like I should mention. So I'm hoping anything I'm saying makes any sense. It does in my head, so we'll see if it translates. It's one of those moments where I'm talking and I'm just realizing probably feeling like, am I just babbling about nonsense? Uh-oh. Oh, goodness.
Places, get in your places, throw on your dress and put on your doll faces. Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. Picture, picture, smile for the picture. Pose with your brother, won't you be a good sister? Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. Dollhouse. I see things that nobody else sees. Dollhouse. I see things that nobody else sees. Hey girl. Hey girl. We'll be a perfect family. Places, get in your...
That's super interesting. That's very interesting. With the whole, with her being so big and looking down on them, it's that thing of, I feel like it partially goes with when we're all obsessed with, like, being in the dollhouse and looking perfect for everybody. We are someone's plaything. We basically lose control of ourselves completely. And then this, like, little girl... Of course, seeing this, what looks like the perfect family, you're tricked into, oh, I want that. But then when you actually have it and see it, it's horrifying. It's no one's life. It's the Instagram life. It doesn't actually exist. This little girl, just like you see suddenly she's got the fake. She doesn't look shiny. So there's still parts of her that look real, but she's got the little freckles. And I'm sure, you know, she was probably going like, oh, look how happy the little doll family is, better than my family. And then seeing the reality of, like, you just become a victim of this ongoing cycle.
We'll be a perfect family. Places, get in your places. Throw on your dress and put on your doll faces. Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. Picture, picture, smile for the picture. Pose with your brother, won't you be a good sister? Everyone thinks that we're perfect. Please don't let them look through the curtains. Dollhouse. I see things that nobody else sees. Dollhouse. I see things that nobody else sees.
And there's this, which is, I guess, her current form, that still confuses me. Still very much confuses me. I love it. I love the colors of the house. It looks like that kind of bright pink dream house thing. I never had one of those. I think my Fisher-Price house was white and blue. And then I had my mom's Barbie dream house, which I believe was the first Barbie dream house, which was all made of cardboard. I never had one of the big pink ones for current Barbie. But that was cool. I really, really liked that video a lot. I liked that a lot. That might be, I don't know. I was about to say my favorite. I like Sippy Cup a lot. It's just so dark. I think I might like Sippy Cup a little bit more. But I did like that one a lot. I think it was very straightforward and things. It's not like there's definitely stuff to examine as I tried to do to analyze, but it is kind of just a straightforward, like, analogy, but one that I think is done really well. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah, that was super cool. So there we go. Eventually you'll see this video, hopefully. Eventually it's gonna pop up, but it's gonna get stalled first. If there's a way to, thankfully, excuse me, thankfully, once I kind of argue my point of like, hey, I think it's very used because I babble nonstop through this thing. I do get it put back up, which is really wonderful that they do that, but I don't know how to make it so they don't take it down first. I don't think there's a way. It just kind of is what it is. But oh well. So there we go. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. You'll see this eventually. Bye, everybody.